Right. If you didn't, I've got some right here. I was gonna say, do you need one too, Crystal? Okay. Awesome. All right, so just because I am actually holding you guys up a smidge here this morning, so we're going to go ahead and dive in. But really what you guys are here for is KWB Keys to Success. So thank you for being in the room. I know it's super early and very cold outside, but we are going to go ahead and roll through. And what we're doing today is we're just looking over kwbresources.com because that is our office resources page. It's going to be a hub of all the tools and available opportunities for you as an agent in this office. So what we're going to do is take a tour of this website together so that you guys don't have to try to figure out where things are all by yourselves. So when we do navigate to kwbresources.com, this is our wonderful homepage. And just as a precursor, two things that no, you're totally fine. Do you need Wi-Fi information? Is on the board over there. So the two things I will tell you guys, just as a general rule of thumb, when we're going through this website, you're going to notice that there's multiple ways to navigate to the exact same information. So what we're going to do is I try to only show you guys the easiest way to get to the info so that you don't have to figure it out or remember a really complicated way. And then the other thing that I always mention too is that your questions obviously are very important. I want to make sure we have clarity. So if you have any questions, feel free to shout them out, whether you're online or if you're in person, pause me and tell me that you have a question rather than wait till the end so that you don't forget it by the end. And also I do talk fast, so hopefully you guys can keep up with me, but if I go too fast, just tell me that that made no sense and I'll cue back. So when we're on our homepage here, the first thing we're going to look at is this new agent tab. When we look at new agents, and I'm actually just going to minimize this so we can see a little bit more of the screen. But when we are on our new agent tab, this is going to kind of culminate all of the immediately relevant information for you as a brand new agent to Keller Williams Ballantine. So on the left-hand side under Learn More in this Getting Started section, you select Learn More, it's actually just going to break over into a PDF checklist item that breaks down the onboarding process. So that way you guys have an idea of everything that you can expect as part of onboarding with KWB. The good news is everybody in this room and on this call is fully onboarded. So congrats, guys. You're done with the headache of that process. But this would give you a general like an idea of what we're expecting during that onboarding process, who will be reaching out to you and at what point. But what I will talk to you guys today about is actually at the bottom here, and I'm going to cut off that last bullet point because it's no longer relevant. But in this little section at the very bottom, we're talking about things you can do immediately. The first is obviously looking at this website together, which we will do today. We are going to take a look at the office calendar as part of that process. Joining Ignite, if you're not already part of Ignite, we do launch again on November 6th. Ignite is built up for anybody that really is averaging less than 16 transactions a year. So even if you don't necessarily want to, if you're a seasoned agent and you don't necessarily want to commit to the entirety of Ignite, there may be a class that focuses on something that you're interested in. So you're welcome to just kind of pop in and out throughout the sessions. But if you are brand new to real estate, I highly recommend Ignite because it's a strong foundation for your career. But then underneath there, we will talk about a couple key Facebook pages to join as well. And then the last is attending office meetings, one of which is KWB Keys to Success. So you guys are already headed in the right direction there. But coming back to our new agent screen, under the basic training section on the right-hand side, if you select Learn More, this is actually going to take you to Scott Leroy Marketing's website. So Scott Leroy Marketing, as you know, was the team that helped you guys to get all of your technology created and set up and sent back to you. So all of you should have received that information at this point in time. If you've not or you don't know where to access that information, please email me and I will help put you in the right direction. But when we look at Scott Leroy Marketing's site, the important thing to note is that their help does not stop after the initial setup. They are an additional resource and team that you can refer back to at any point in time. They're here to help you as well. So when we look at their page, I only point out a couple things just so we don't spend too much time going down rabbit holes here. But because we happen to be seeing the lovely search bar feature on the right-hand side, this is a great tool right here just because it allows you to search their site for keywords or specific resources you may be looking for. My favorite thing to point out when we're talking about their search bar here is that Scott Leroy Marketing can actually create QR codes for you. So if you guys don't already have a method of creating a QR code for your print marketing, that is going to be a really cool tool you can implement and something that Scott Leroy Marketing can help you do for free. All you have to do is search QR code, go to their QR code generator little form that you have to create, or submit, I should say. You fill out your information, tell them what website you're trying to link that QR code to, and then they'll send that information back to you within the hour. So it's a pretty helpful tool. Again, just in case that's not your strong suit, rather than try to figure something out and learn something new, you have leverage if you need it. The other two things that I'm going to point out on this site is actually this agent resources tab at the top. If you click on it, did used to be a drop down menu, but now you have to click on it and tell them who you are basically first. So it's going to ask you to type in our market center number. Our market center number is 350. That is a number that you guys may want to have in the back of your brains. I'm sure you've seen it many times already and you will continue to do so. But 350 is going to tell them basically that yes, we are partners with Scott Lowry Marketing. And so now this agent resources tab at the top has become a drop down menu. So there's several different tools just within this little menu here that you guys are welcome to check out. The biggest thing I'm going to point out to you all today is under this training drop down. You can see here that they have a training calendar. The reason I share all of this with you is for those of us who are going to be really diving into our KW technology, which is something I always encourage. Scott Lowry Marketing does offer live trainings on your KW tech Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., all done through Zoom. So that way you guys hopefully, again, can just supplement some of your tech education and get some of that knowledge and foundation built up. The great news is that this allows a little bit more flexibility. We offer tech trainings in this office Tuesdays and Thursdays, but if somebody has a little bit more of a complicated schedule and maybe Mondays and Wednesdays are a better fit for you, know that this is a tool you are welcome to take advantage of because they are talking about all different topics every single day of the week. All you have to do is click on that particular event. You'll see exactly what their specific topic will be, and then you can just use that Zoom link available to hop right into that call. So again, just something to point out because again, they cover a variety of different topics, and sometimes it's very helpful to have that information a little more on demand. So that is what I shared there is the training calendar, and that's exactly how we went about accessing that information. The other thing I'm going to point out to you guys today is actually this store option. I know many of us probably already have our business cards, so don't worry if this is not relevant to you. But if you do need to order business cards of any kind for yourself, we always recommend the agent store as an option for you. And the reason for that is that because they are partnered through Scott Leroy and Keller Williams, they do have a ton of different templates available that already have a lot of our information. So it makes it really easy to just plug and play and drop a couple pieces of your information in to customize that template further. And then when you go to order them, they are very, very price competitive. So obviously adjusted for inflation. A couple years ago, I was able to get 500 for $35. So not a bad deal at all. They also offer different packages. So if you need name tags, anything like that, that's a great resource. Of course, you are not limited to Agent Store. So Vistaprint or Canva, something very unique to the team or to your personal branding is absolutely welcome. The biggest thing you'll want to know is if you are provisional broker status, you guys will need to run your designs by our BIC associate Tasha, just to make sure that everything's in compliance and you are not falsely advertising yourself or your partnership with KW Ballantyne, because we don't want anyone going to real estate jail over something as silly as a business card. So please use this tool for any of those of you who have to get this information taken care of or ordered. This is a great resource for you, and you'll find that their prices are very, very great and highly competitive. So I'm going to close out of that. And now we're just done briefly looking at the Scott Lowry Marketing website, although, again, tons more information on there you're welcome to dive into on your own time. Going a little bit further down, this is where we're going to discuss some of those Facebook pages. The top two here are going to be the most active Facebook pages. The first is an internal Facebook page just of Keller Williams Ballantyne agents and our wonderful leadership team. So you can connect with all 550 agents in this office and your leadership team just through a private Facebook group. I think it's a wonderful tool because obviously there's not 500 people in the office on a day-to-day basis, which is good because we don't actually have enough space for that. So I'm glad that we have a smaller crowd in here. But obviously that doesn't mean that you are limited to just having conversations with those people in the office. If you have questions and maybe somebody's not able to answer, or you're looking for a referral agent in a different area, a vendor who can service somewhere further out, like Midland and stuff like that. Anything like that is a great question to pose in that Facebook group because agents in our office, I mean, I say it all the time, but we mean it. We're highly collaborative. So we will literally, you'll see agents screenshot contacts directly out of their phone and drop them in the comments so that you can reach out to some of their trustworthy vendors and or referral partners in other states just to make your life a little bit easier. So that is one that I'll always encourage you guys just for your own communication and collaboration. In addition, I am on there as well, constantly talking about the different trainings and events that are going on in the office. So that way you guys can stay up to date on what's happening at KWB and plug into any of the opportunities that sound exciting or interesting to you. So that's a really great way for you to kind of just stay up to date on all things KWB. Underneath that, we also have a Facebook page just for our vendor partners and our agents. So we have what is called a strategic alliance partner Facebook group. Our strategic alliance partners, our vendor partners. We do have a wonderful vendor program here at KW Ballantyne. And in that vendor program, each of the individuals that is part of that program have actually been vetted by other Keller Williams Ballantyne agents. So it's again somebody that you know right off the bat, you can trust that is going to deliver a great product or service for you and your clients. So if you're interested in figuring out who these vendors are, comparing prices, or just getting contact with multiple different sources so that you can present different quotes to your client, I would highly encourage becoming part of that Facebook group. It helps you to stay on top of what they're doing. They're on there updating you guys about different services they're offering, promotional deals that they're offering. So it's a really great way for you guys to get connected, especially for those of us who don't have a strong foundation of vendors that we already like to use. This would be a great way for you guys to get connected with some of those individuals. If you already have vendors that you know and love, that's awesome. One less thing for you guys to tackle. But you also may just want to be part of that page in case maybe your usual home inspector is not available and you're looking for someone else that you can rely on to get the job done. Underneath there, we do have the other two, which is Charlotte Area Realtor Network, obviously allowing you to connect with other realtors in Charlotte. And then we have the KW Carolinas region, which will help connect you with other Carolinas region KW agents and also stay on top of regional opportunities. Like right now, I know there are some wonderful masterminds that are taking place in Wilmington. So if you guys ever want to know about some of those bigger scale events where you can also network with other agents in the Carolinas, the Carolinas region Facebook group is going to be a great option for you. Underneath, we do have access to Kellerisms. Kellerisms really just breaks down the language and terminology that is thrown around at Keller Williams. So if you are not quite familiar with capping or a 145, I don't blame you. It's a little funky. So if you're not quite familiar with what those terms mean and you're a little too shy to ask, you are more than welcome to refer to the Kellerisms option. If you click on this, it'll open up to a little PDF breakdown and it gives you real world definitions and terminology for what you're hearing in the hallways here. Always know that you can, of course, ask us for clarification on anything that you have questions on. But if you're not quite sure, Kellerisms is always a great reference guide. Underneath that, we also have some plugin tools for, again, some additional tech support. This is going to be one that I should have introduced to many of you to already as part of your onboarding process, but answers.kw.com, if you were to click on that button there, it will take you to a whole website dedicated just to your frequently asked questions about your KW tech. So depending on how much you're utilizing it and what you're working with, you can actually specify what specific site or platform you're working with and then search keywords on that website so that hopefully you can get all the information you need on demand and continue moving forward with what you're working on. So answers.kw.com is going to be a great tool. It breaks it down into helpful articles, gives you screenshots for visual as well, so you can go ahead and then replicate on your end. And there is a sister website to this as well. It's called ideas.kw.com, and that's built up entirely of your suggestions and your feedback about command. So as you guys are utilizing it, whether you came from a different firm, you have experience with other platforms or CRMs, they are constantly trying to improve what we've got as a main product. So if there's ever any suggestions on how to make it a more user-friendly tool or more efficient, they want to hear those suggestions. So feel free to drop them into ideas.kw.com if that ever speaks to you. We do have access to Ignite materials here. I am happy to email you guys a digital PDF. So if you forget where this button is, don't worry, just shoot me a quick email and I can send you a digital PDF of the student manual so that you guys can be ready for day one on November 6th. And then as we scroll further, again, just kind of pulling a lot of really relevant information into this new agent tab. This is a way that you can access our training calendar. I am going to show you an easier way, so we're not going to look at it just yet. But then at the very bottom, we're discussing scheduling conference rooms, which actually can be done a little bit more easily as well. If you just go to the More tab, you're going to see schedule a conference room right here in the drop down menu. That's probably the easiest way to go about that. But for scheduling conference rooms, just as a talking point, we do have 5 different conference rooms that are available in this office. They vary in capacity from 4 to 8 agents or people, I guess I should say. They could be clients. So we do have different conference rooms here in the office that are always available for you to utilize. It's a free resource for you to take advantage of. The only real caveats or kind of outlined rules for those is that we one prefer that you maintain your reservation for 2 hours or less. And that's just to make sure that the resource is on rotation throughout the day for all agents in the office. And then the other rule is that we ask that you, when you're using those conference rooms, make sure you're using them for more collaborative efforts when you're meeting with more than just one person. So if you're meeting with clients, you're meeting with a coach, even other agents, conference rooms are going to be the most appropriate resource for you guys to have some privacy and get some focused conversation happening. But if you were looking just for a place for independent and quiet work, we actually have 2 focus rooms, and our focus rooms are going to be better geared towards that independent workspace because it's a smaller space and it's got just one single desk in there. And they're actually just outside this back door here. So focus rooms are really great if you're looking just for somewhere where maybe you can do your cold calling or your lead gen in the morning. Again, 2 hours or less with those reservations. But it's very easy to do if you just register, or if you honestly, if you just click this link here, schedule a conference room, it'll take you to a website called sketa.com. You can create a quick login through Sketa, and then you can drag and drop your reservations throughout the day. On the top bar of that spreadsheet, you're going to see every single conference room by name. It's also going to tell you the capacity that they store, so it's really easy for you to keep track of whether or not you're booking the right room. And then down the left-hand side is all the available times during the day, and literally you just click right where you want to put your reservation, drag it for as long of a duration of a meeting you want, and then you can just book the room that way. So very easy to do, and one resource that we always encourage you guys to take advantage of. If you ever have difficulty while booking conference rooms, just reach out to me. I'm an admin on the page, so I'm happy to help you guys. And then now that we've kind of looked through all of this, we're going to go back to our homepage. So that whole time, if you can believe it, we were just under one button. But I promise it takes the first like couple things we're going to look at. It does take up like half the class, but we move faster as we go forward. So bear with me, guys. It'll get a little faster. But as we scroll down underneath that homepage opening photo, you will see our staff directory. This was included in your new agent packets, guys, but this is covering everybody on our leadership team, their contact information, and also their roles. So should you need to reach out to any one of us about any particular issue or question you may have, we are more than happy to assist you and guide you to the right person. So just reach out to us accordingly based off of what you're looking for. If you're never sure who to reach out to, always come back to me or even Teresa, and we're happy to help field that question for you. But I am more than happy to be the one to connect dots anytime. And I do apologize. I hate scrolling through this with you guys, honestly, because it looks like I'm blind. It looks like I'm blind because everything's like jutted to the side and I just look like I have no idea what's going on. When I do this on my computer and I edit it on Wix, it's perfect. It looks great. And then it's that the monitor size in here is just ever so slightly too big and it throws off everything. I promise I'm not blind though. Not yet. As we scroll a little bit further down, there's some helpful videos here that Leah, our tech coordinator, has shared. So the first one up top here is going to be how you can go about submitting commission requests through command. So if you've never ever done that before, commission requests do look a little bit different than even I think the last time your team may have been here. So with that being said, we've had some system updates, and that means it's a slightly new process. So if you've never submitted a commission request before, this is a wonderful video Leah filmed and pinned here for you so that you guys can refer back to it and get that information and help as you're working through the first commission request. So that way, once it becomes muscle memory, you're good to go, but she's got it here for your reference anytime. And then just underneath there is a video on how Command and DocuSign interlink and work together. So if you have not already linked your DocuSign, I know again, exceptions here because we're Dotloop users. But if you guys are brand new, normal, individual agents and we don't have access to Dotloop, you guys have access to DocuSign. You may need to make sure that those are linked correctly and properly to your command account. And that starts with putting your NERDS number into the settings of your DocuSign. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even know how to do that. So if you guys need to do that, you're going to want to watch that video. And of course, reach out to Leah if you've got any additional questions. She's happy to help you guys out. But hopefully that will make your life one step easier as you move forward. And then we will eventually come across our training calendar. I personally think the easiest way to access that information rather than scrolling all this way is just clicking the office calendar tab right here at the top. It will actually drag you right to the spot on the page so that you don't have to do all of that scrolling. The other thing I always mention when we're looking at this calendar is this is very choppy and hard to read. You'll see it cuts out multiple events on every single day. Not a big fan of that. But if you click here for a full calendar view just above, this will take you to a separate tab, but it's showing you that calendar on a broader scale. So it's much easier to read what's going on in the given month. So you can see right here today what we've got happening. You can even move forward and see what's happening in the weeks to come. Move beyond that, you can scroll all the way through the year if you really want to, just to have an idea of what's going on in the calendar. We're usually planning events about 30 to 45 days out. So typically speaking, that's kind of the range you should be looking in. Obviously, you're welcome to go beyond that, but know that things are subject to change. The good news is that this is a live calendar. So anytime I'm making any adjustments on my end, you will immediately see it reflected here. But this way, you guys, again, just have a feel for what's happening in our office. By clicking on any of these events, you'll get a full description about that particular opportunity. And then if there's any links associated with this class, you'll see them posted there as well. So anytime you see a Zoom link, that means obviously that it's Zoom optional at the very least. Read through the description, make sure it's not solely Zoom. Those are more rare usually, but that way you guys can easily plug in remotely if you need to. If it's an in-person opportunity that requires you to register, you guys can see there are sign up genius links always posted as well. So we make it pretty easy for you guys to immediately register for any opportunities that require it. You'll see there's also a good handful on here that you can just show up and come on in for rather than having to register. So you'll just want to make sure it's marked on your calendar, but you'll be able to find out all of that information by reviewing the description in that event details. I also am posting these things regularly to the Facebook page with the links as well. So you can just sign up directly through Facebook, just hopefully to make your lives a little bit easier. But my biggest recommendation is always learn ahead, try to get ahead of the frantic energy that you feel when you don't necessarily know what you're doing moving forward. Obviously, I know you guys are experienced, so you're good. But when you guys are trying to move forward and build a strong foundation, learn early, learn ahead, and make sure that you're setting up yourselves up for success. We have tons of resources here in order for you to succeed. It's just up to you guys to utilize them. So pay attention to what's happening on the calendar. Get signed up for anything and everything that excites you. We would love to see you in the office. We do try to get vendors to sponsor tons of these trainings, especially the longer trainings. So hopefully we can feed you guys as well. That's always a win. So just pay attention to the calendar. Let me know if you guys have questions about what you're seeing on the calendar because I do work very closely with it. So I'm more than happy to answer those questions for you. Underneath our calendar widget, we are just reviewing and highlighting some of the recurring meetings. Obviously, team meetings happen the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. They are our very fun, high energy meetings where we are kind of recapping what's going on right now in the market center, celebrating our agents, welcoming new agents. We're having tons of fun. We also actually invite several of our vendors to join us for those meetings. So you have an opportunity to get connected with some of our vendor partners in addition. So it makes it very easy for you guys to get kind of a snapshot of what's happening and what you can expect in the next coming weeks. Highly recommend your participation in at least one team meeting. They are offered in person and through Zoom, so it makes it pretty easy to plug in. We also have ALC meetings that are run on the third Tuesday of every month, and ALC meetings are Agent Leadership Council. So these are agents in our top 20% that have volunteered some additional time to represent different committees at our office to make sure that Valentine really is the best place to call home. So we will talk a little bit more about the ALC here shortly. And And then in addition, we also have Tech Tuesdays, which we kind of talked about already. Jules and Leah offer Tech Tuesdays and Thursdays. They do tech classes as well. Tuesdays are going to be a little bit more focused on a new agent or somebody getting a general basis or foundation for their KW technology. The Thursday sessions are a little bit more advanced. So that way, if you're ready to just build on to the next, the Thursdays are going to be a better fit for you. So take a look at the calendar. When you click on each event, you can see the specific topic they'll be discussing for that class. When we scroll even further, we come across our wonderful broker in charge, Miss Sabre Romeo, and also Miss Tasha Viney, our BIC associate, who is equally amazing. Both of these lovely ladies kind of run this office in addition to Lynn, so we owe them everything. But Sabre and Tasha both are very, very knowledgeable, patient, and kind. They are super, super helpful and here to help you succeed. Sabre herself, I will tell you, is not very commonly in the office, so you are welcome to reach out to her via email or call her if you need to. But she's not going to be a face you're seeing in the halls very frequently. Tasha, on the other hand, is in the office 3 days a week, and you can see her office hours are posted there. So if you ever need to stop by just to ask a quick question, Tasha can almost always help with a lot of those questions. And if she cannot, she will refer you to Sabra. We tend to tell you guys for more administrative or non urgent questions, Tasha is a great resource for you. Obviously, when things are going awry in the deal and the transaction is officially on fire, please call Sabra. She's going to be the best person to reach out to. But both of these lovely ladies are here to help you guys succeed and are happy to get to know both anybody in the room. Underneath that, we do have some information regarding renewing your licenses. So if you've never done that process before, whether you're North or South Carolina, it could be something that you're a little stressed about when June rolls around because you're not sure what you need to accomplish. There are charts here. If you click on each of these white highlighted buttons, that will open up and they will explain exactly what you need to do by what deadline as well. So that way you guys can make sure you are ready to go and will not have any issues when June rolls around. So check out those charts and let us know if you've got any specific questions about what you're seeing. Underneath, you'll see our wonderful slideshow of our ALC this year. So this ALC is, like I said, built up of our top 20%. We've got some additional agents in here who have volunteered some time to represent different committees. We do have a social committee and KW Cares committee. They are focusing on all the fun things that we're doing at Valentine and our charitable arm. So usually they have some of the most participation because who doesn't love planning parties? That's really fun. So our social committee is a great one to get to know. We also have our career development committee, which focuses on the trainings that are brought into the office. So if you guys ever are curious what trainings are coming up or have suggestions about something you'd like to see brought into the market center, let our career development committee know. We also have a growth committee, and our growth committee is focusing on helping you guys to build your passive income through profit share. So if you're interested in building a downline, these are going to be the best people to reach out to. So we've included their contact information so that way it's easy to make those connections. Everyone's very friendly and happy to get to know you guys. And you're welcome to participate as much as you'd like with that committee. If you just want to kind of sit in on one of their meetings, they're usually meeting on the first Tuesday of every month. But you can sit in on one of those meetings and just hear the conversations they're having, provide some feedback. But if you're interested in getting more involved, you guys are welcome to kind of volunteer to help represent and serve that committee as well. So reach out to some of those agents. They are wonderful to get to know, and you will see them very commonly at our team meetings as well. Underneath, we do have productivity coaches, which is going to be one of the key pillars of mentorship that are offered to our brand new agents. You guys are usually auto enrolled into coaching if you are brand new to real estate. So if you guys have not yet gotten connected with a coach, please reach out to me via email. I'll make sure that we get that underway. But your coach is here to help make sure that your business is set up for success. They want to make sure you are headed in the right direction, launching off on a good note, and they are going to make sure that you know all the ins and outs of what it means to be a realtor, because we know that it's not something that's taught to you in school about how to do the day-to-day life of a realtor. So your coach is here to make sure you know scripts, to have your mindset straight, to talk about lead gen tactics, to get you out and get you active. And then also they are here to help hold you accountable, which is huge. So get to know your coach, participate in their weekly meetings, and get a lot of that value out of the coaching program. And again, if you've not yet been assigned to a coach, please let me know. Underneath here, we also have our transaction group partners. Our transaction group partners are kind of our contracts and forms experts. So these individuals are here to help you guys succeed in understanding how to fill out those documents. So if you've not yet, again, done that process before, it's important to have a thorough understanding of what you're doing so that, you can act confident and be confident through that appointment with your clients. So we want to make sure you guys have a strong foundation and understanding of how to do that. And that means plugging in with your transaction partner. So these wonderful individuals, again, volunteering some additional time on top of balancing their own businesses to teach you guys those contracts and forms. They are meeting every single week and chunking that content down for you. So it's very easy for you to have a thorough understanding, hopefully even draft your own templates that you can refer back to later on. So very, very helpful individuals and great resources to have. If you have not yet gotten plugged in with a transaction group partner and you're interested in that program, please reach out to me via email because I can get that taken care of today. But both your transaction group partner and your coach, by getting assigned to that, all we do is we send you the overview of the schedule, tell you when each partner is meeting. You tell us what works best for you on a regular basis because we want you to be able to plug in as often as possible. The very bottom, we've got some helpful resources and helpful links, all of which are available at the top. So we are officially ready to move forward onto the next screen, and this is one of the faster ones, I promise. So the FAQ tab to the right of our home tab is actually going to cover some just generic questions that you may have as you're getting settled at KW Ballantyne. If you're not quite sure who to reach out to about a particular question, this hopefully will give you a rough idea of what each of us does on the leadership team. So if you basically have any questions financially, whether it's your agent bill, a question on commissions, or commission requests, if you hover over that tile without clicking on anything, it will tell you who on leadership handles that task. And then we'll also give you their email so that you can reach out to them. So Lynn Davis is going to be all money in, all money out. So she handles all of those conversations. If you have a question about DocuSign, you can contact Jules and Leah and vice versa. So hopefully this gives you guys a great idea of who's doing what responsibility on the team so that you can get right to the right person. But again, if you're not sure, I am always a happy go-to for you, and I will make sure you get in touch with the right person. The next tab here is the on-demand training tab. Our on-demand training tab is going to be password protected. So when you are looking here, I'm going to read it out for those of us who are online and then ladies in the room. It's literally going to be the Wi-Fi password on that corner without the exclamation point. So take off that exclamation point and that is the password. So for those of us online, the password is going to be a capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. Capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. We're going to go ahead and go in. If you missed that password, didn't get a chance to write it down, I'm going to go over it one more time on the next tab as well. But under on-demand training, this tends to be one of the more popular tabs, I'll admit. On the left-hand side, if you click the on-demand option, this will take you to our Keller Williams Ballantyne YouTube channel. So if you guys have missed a key training, and I'm going to be fully honest, this is not every single training that we offer. It will not be every training that we offer. It is only covering a lot of the recurring meetings that we offer. So Tech Tuesdays, compliance classes on how to get paid faster. We're talking about team meetings and things like that. If you actually scroll to the bottom and it says create a playlist, it'll tell you what each of the trainings is because they're organized in a playlist just dedicated to that training. So that way you know what to expect on this site. But this is going to have tons of key information. So if you guys happen to be ill, which happens, or you're traveling and you're like, you know what, Liz, I actually just want to put my toes in the sand. I don't want to jump on that team meeting. I get it. Put your toes in the sand. If you guys miss anything that you were hoping to have caught, feel free to refer back to this YouTube channel because I am uploading the recordings of each of those trainings or meetings so that you guys can get that information at a time that works well for you. The reason we do that is, again, everyone's got a slightly different schedule. We also understand that things happen and we don't want something to stand in your way of getting the information you're hoping for. But again, just to reiterate, not every training goes on here. You'll see specifically which trainings they are, and they are typically those recurring meetings. The other thing I mentioned while we're looking at this page is while I am the one who uploads the recordings, I usually do that like every week or so. So it might be a couple days before you see the recording on there. If you ever are looking for something that's not posted, just email me because sometimes I might just not have gotten to it just yet. Occasionally, though, YouTube will reject my recording and they're like, ooh, it violates this policy, which it never does, but I can't fight that. In which case I can't publish it here, but I still have it. And I'm happy to send it to you guys individually if there's something you're looking for. So just let us know what we can do to help you if you're noticing there's ever something missing from this page. But this is going to be a great tool for those of us with a little bit more complex schedules. And then similarly on the right-hand side under Command on Demand, if you select the On Demand Training tab, and I have to pause this video because it's going to play out. Where'd it go? Oh, they moved it. Oh, did they not move it? I hear it going on one of your computers. I was like, where'd it go? Okay, well, I guess they moved it for me, so I'm not mad because it's really loud when it goes in the speakers here. I'm like, oh my God, everyone's deaf. So Scott Leroy Marketing also has a YouTube channel that you guys are welcome to refer to. Most of us probably talked about this as part of your onboarding process. This is something that I always refer you guys back to. Again, it's just giving you the opportunity to get the strong technology knowledge that you need in order to be successful or to try something new with that technology. It's going to allow you guys to do that at a time, again, that just may work better for your schedules than some of the live trainings that are offered. So if you guys do need to access anything, Scott Leroy Marketing does a really great job of exploring every single platform that you're given through KW. And then each of these trainings, some of them are just quick couple minute long videos to give you like a quick tip on how to do your tech. And some of them are full length trainings that you guys can refer back to as well. They make it really easy. You can see exactly on that cover page right there what the topic is, so you know if it's going to be a training you should jump into. The point though, of course, is that this is available to you when you need that education most and allowing you guys to learn ahead and cover topics specifically that you may be looking for. I will tell you again, just as a general rule of thumb, we heavily encourage live participation in trainings, whether that's in person or online through Zoom. As much as you guys can be engaged live, the better. And not because we try to inconvenience you. It is literally just so when you have a question, you're able to ask it and get answers rather than sitting there uncertain as the training continues on. So again, please do your best to participate in things live. But if this is going to be a better fit for your schedule or help you in specific instances, absolutely use it to supplement. We are happy to allow you to use that resource. So I'm going to close out. Oh, it's going to be the left hand. Yep. On demand. You're good. Nope, you're totally fine. It's a little confusing. And that's why I tell you guys I move fast. So just let me know. We'll cut right back. All good. All good. So we've got the KW Valentine stuff on the left here and then the Scott Leroy on the right. And then Leah has just gone ahead and included again that video about how you can submit a commission request in Command to make your lives a little bit easier. And at the very bottom, just a quick blurb about Ignite. If you don't already have that information in front of you through an email I sent, just let me know. I'm happy to share that email with you guys again and tell you all about Ignite if you're interested in plugging in. It is one of the best trainings that I think we offer, especially when you start out at KW Valentine. On the right-hand tab up here, I'm not going to click on it just yet. I'm just going to hover over that drop-down menu. The reason I do that, I think the top 3 items in that menu are just easier to access this way than once you're in the tab. So office resources, you're going to see advertising guidelines are included here. So if you guys are not quite sure what needs to be on your print marketing or digital marketing, you want to make sure you're not going to get flagged and go to real estate jail, I highly, highly encourage that you reference the advertising guidelines. It's very simple. You just click on that tab item and it will take you where you want to go and give you guys a full spec on what you can and cannot have on your marketing information. I also introduce this to you guys because if you're broker status, obviously you have a little bit more freedom in what you guys can do, but you still might have some questions about what that should look like if you don't want to get in trouble for any reason. So advertising guidelines can help clear some things up there as well. We do have logo files for KW Valentine embedded in the advertising guidelines menu item as well. So if you need those logos, that's where you can find them. You can also shoot me an email. I'm good either way. And then the other thing I mentioned as well is obviously if you're looking over the advertising guidelines and something specific is not in there that you still have questions about, always touch base with Tasha and or Sabra. They are happy to help give you some guidance. We also have a concession request right here as well. So for those of us who, again, our transaction may not be perfect start to finish and we need to draft a concession letter, in the event that you need to have a concession letter issued, the best way to request that information be done is to submit a concession request through this Google form. I'm going to click on it just so you can see it real quick. So it's going to show you a Google form right here. All you have to do is fill out the answers to each question, and then you are ready to hit submit. Tasha gets notified via email, and then she can get that concession letter signed and shared right back with you. We we found that this just kind of helps streamline that process because when there's no real template and we get like two pieces of information from the agent, and then Tasha's got to go back to you and ask more questions, get a little bit more info and back and forth and back and forth, it takes up some of your time as well. And that's not our intended purpose. So in order to streamline that, we want you guys to give us all the information we could possibly need in your initial request. And that way we don't have to have any follow-up questions and we can just get that letter right back to you. So concession requests are right here under Office Resources tab. We also have access to the Do Not Call list. If you are not familiar with the Do Not Call list, it is a very important piece of information for you to have access to. You need to know who you can and cannot call because if you call the wrong person, you are not only subject to thousands in fines, but you can also face court time. And that sounds miserable twice. So in the event of avoiding that, we would love for you guys to know exactly who's on that list so you do not contact the wrong person. There are step-by-step instructions if you click that menu item to walk you through how to register so that you can get access to that information. So do pay attention and access the Do Not Call list if you've not already been familiarized with it. That is absolutely something you will need to do here in the near future. But without further ado, I will actually click into the tab now, and you're going to see same password option. So just like before, guys, it's the exact same password. It is capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. And I'll say it one more time for those of us online. Capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. And then once you're inside of this wonderful tab, the next couple things I'm going to share with you is what we consider like our forms and checklist hub for this site. So I know that just about everyone is typically North Carolina licensed in this office. It's occasional that we get our South as well. So for those of us who are North Carolina licensed, we are going to turn our attention to the left-hand side of the screen. For anybody South Carolina licensed or who will become South Carolina licensed, know that everything we're about to look at, the equivalent of that information for South Carolina is right here on the right side. So for the North Carolina side of things, under general forms, if we were to select the Get Forms button, it's going to take us to a Google Drive folder that Sabre actually created and put in a lot of the documents that she felt she was just getting asked about very frequently. So to make your lives a little bit easier, again, we've just put it all into one spot for you. And that way you guys don't have to try to chase us down and figure out where to find that one thing that you might have to do and yada, yada, yada. We want to make sure life's a little bit easier and that you know exactly where to find that information as soon as you need it. I know, I know. No, they're just hanging out with me, Teresa. No, you're fine. You're fine. So when we're looking at this particular Google Drive folder, what I will tell you is this is not every single contract and form that you're responsible for completing. Obviously, there's state documents that you have to do, and those are available to you through your DocuSign or .loop, or they are available to you through zip forms, which is a feature through Matrix through Canopy. So dependent on what you're looking for, if you're looking for a state contractor form, check your DocuSign, your .loop, or you will check zip forms through Canopy. If you guys are looking for a form that this is going to be our specific to KW Ballantine forms more than anything. So if you guys are looking for something specific to us, like referral agreements are in here, we have our Office W-9 in here. We have septic and sewer information because Sabre does ask for that information all the time. So septic and sewer is included in here. We have, let's see, I'm going to try and pull out. We have disclosures about our partnerships with title companies in here. So tons of information, again, that's specific to your partnership with us. This is where you can find that information. And my general rule of thumb for you guys is always, if you are looking in your DocuSign or your .loop or your zip forms to start and you're missing a document, come back to this Google Drive folder. If you're starting in this Google Drive folder and you're missing something, go back to your DocuSign, .loop, or zip forms option. Between those resources, you should have every single form that you need. So keep that in mind. This is where you can find tons of that information. And then I'm going to take us right back. The other thing I'm going to share on this particular screen, so again, this is North Carolina forms, South Carolina's on the right. Then in the middle option here, we have Get Checklist. So if you click on Get Checklist, this is going to open up into checklists that Sabre has actually created for you. And they're breaking down everything that you guys are responsible for completing and your given transaction. So you know all your responsibilities. She'll also put like a timetable on that as well if it's relevant. And this way you guys know exactly what you need in order to succeed. Because we know that for those first few transactions, it is not muscle memory. So you may not quite know everything that you are responsible for completing, but of course you want to do a thorough job in the transaction. So if this checklist helps you to be that much more confident going into that first transaction, please, please, please reference it, print it off if you'd like to, and physically check it off as you go. It can be a very helpful tool. But Sabre has created these for each state. So there's North and South Carolina transactions in here, and they're covering either side of the deal. There's some rental information. There's tons in here to help you guys so that you are not as nervous on that first deal and you can go in and have a very smooth transaction. So know that these checklists are available tools right here in the middle under Office Checklists. A little bit further down, I will show just a couple quick things on the CE Shops website. So we do partner with different different real estate education sources, I should say. We partner with the CE Shop, which obviously is self-paced learning online. We also partner with Superior. I'll talk a little bit more about the Superior partnership towards the end here. But CE Shop, if you were to select Find Classes, it's going to take you to our dual branded website with the CE Shop. I just tripped on that cord. Woo, that was bad. So we are looking at the CE Shop's website. So I only, again, point out a few things on this page because this is something else you are welcome to dive into at your own leisure. But just to point out some really cool features. The first is that if you've never done self-paced learning before, we know that it's either a hit or a miss for people. It is one or the other, hardly ever in between. So if you've ever wondered if you would be compatible with self-paced, because maybe you're ready to get that South Carolina license and you're just not quite sure if you should do self-paced, but I don't know if I have time for a live class. They offer a free trial through the CE Shop for 1 week. And so you are able to check out self-paced, decide if that's something you like for your business. If you love it, you can give me your credit card information at the end of that week and then commit to the rest of the session and the information. If you hated it, you get to walk away without having any consequence at all financially or to any scoring moving forward. So it's a really cool opportunity for you to just check it out and see if it would be a good fit for you. So please keep that in mind as you guys are ready to potentially get licensed in South Carolina, maybe even another state. Obviously, you're not limited just to North and South Carolina through CE Shop. And if you hover over, you can see all the wonderful states that they work with so that you can get the education for just about anywhere. The other thing that I share with you guys, obviously through our partnership, we have discounts. So I do post about any 1 day sales that the CE Shop is offering. They are usually offered on Wednesdays, and I will post that discount code to our group Facebook page first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. so that you guys can go back and see that code and then use it at any point in the day to take advantage of that 1 day sale. But otherwise, they do have some other discounts that just run. However, I will say that CE Shop fluctuates their sales. So I've seen it as low as like 20 to 25% off. I've seen it as high as 50% off. So just keep that in your back pocket. Know that there will be some time. So if you've got like a month out before you need to schedule your CE, I'd sit back and wait and see if there's a better deal that comes up. And then when you're ready to officially commit, go ahead and use whatever deal is available if you didn't find something a little bit better. But know that this is going to be a great way for you guys to get a discount on your real estate education for yourselves. And this is also something you can share with other people. The cool thing about our partnership is that there's no obligation for anyone to join KW Ballantyne if they wanted to use it for pre-licensing. So if you guys just want to make someone's day and give them a discount on getting started with real estate, go ahead and do that. Share these codes so that they can take advantage as well. And then best case scenario, they're like, oh my God, I love Crystal. Thank you so much. I love Leslie. She helped me out so much. I'm going to join KW Ballantyne. I'm going to name them as my sponsor. And then it's just the gift that keeps giving. So it is a win-win. Please do share, take advantage of it yourselves. That is a great tool for you moving forward. And then we also, this is where it gets like a little funny. This used to be at the top, and I didn't look like a psycho for going to the very bottom and looking at the fine print. but now I get to do this part. So hot topics, if you can squint your eyes and find that on there, hot topics is what I'm going to share with you guys today. If you click on that under the Agent Essentials category, it's going to take you to a little library here of ebooks, blogs, podcasts, and videos that all exist in this little library. So these are all conversations happening surrounding real estate, whether it is about market updates, just kind of cute like DIY suggestions for Halloween. Now that it is Halloween, I wonder there used to be one where it was like selling a haunted house, which is just kind of cute and fun. And so I like stuff like that personally because it can be entertaining or it can be informative. And it's something that you guys can obviously benefit from and make yourselves, again, yet another opportunity for you to be the leading expert in your industry. However, the flip side to that is that this is also a resource you can share publicly. So the reason I introduce you to it is just kind of surrounding the conversation of your marketing. Oftentimes we see that social media is a very heavy marketing tool for a lot of our agents. If that's true for you, I will say I'm not the best expert with that. You'll want to talk to Jules and Leah. But what I will tell you is that the two things I do know about your digital marketing, your social media marketing specifically, is it is very important that you are posting commonly. So almost every other day, every single day, if you can, you're posting and staying in front of people. And then the second piece of that is that you're diversifying what you're sharing so that you're getting new traffic to your page because you're not just posting the same old stuff. Also, if you post the same old stuff, eventually Facebook will say nobody cares and they'll just kind of move it off of their feed. So you need to make sure that you are sharing new and original content. It's hard to come up with new and original content day after day, and we know that, and we don't want to ask you guys to do yet another thing. So to save you guys a little bit of time and energy, if you roll out of bed one morning a little late, you're feeling kind of groggy, in that event, and you need to put something up on social media, take one of these links and just throw it up on your social media. It's something that can then diversify your content and maybe even get you new traffic to your page. So this is kind of hitting the easy button if you ever need to with social media marketing. This is a great way to just kind of, again, share information that's helpful to the general public and stay in front of your people. So this is the last thing that I share with you guys here. Again, it's hot topics. So very helpful tool if you're looking for that easy button. We're coming right back to our office resources page. There's access to the Valentine floor plan. I'm pretty sure that's not even a functioning button anymore because I think I turned it off because it's the old floor plan. So don't even try it, guys. Don't even click on that button. Underneath here, we also have helpful numbers. So these helpful numbers are numbers you're not going to be asked to procure very often, we'll say, but you may very well need it from time to time. So we want to make sure you know where to find that information. So your numbers to know lives at the bottom of this page. Our market center number you'll see right there under Ballantyne area to the left is 350. If you are ready to go get your South Carolina license and you don't know our firm license number for that state, it is right here, 10902. Especially my personal favorite when you guys are doing referrals and you need our tax ID number. That is going to be right here. So again, these may not be numbers that you're asked to find very often, but they are important nonetheless. So it's important that you know where to access that information should you need it. And of course, if you ever have questions or can't remember where we had that information, just shoot me a quick email and I'll help you guys get right back to where you need to be. Just for giggles, office calendar, it's going to do all the work for us in a second here. Da-da-da-da. Yay. I just wanted to show you guys that it will do all the work for you. That was all. Tech resources, many of these we've actually already spoken about today, so I'm not going to take up too much of your additional time looking over that drop down menu, but please explore the tech resources, especially if you're planning on plugging in very heavily with your command account, which you should, and your DocuSign. We want to make sure you know everything you need to, so when you have your first deal, you don't have to worry about figuring out the tech on top of having that first deal. We want you to be able to focus solely on your clients and your responsibilities as an agent, and then let the tech be something you already know how to do. The next tab under more here, we'll talk about a few of these. We do have access to ALC meeting minutes as that third menu item. So if you guys did not attend an ALC meeting and you want to know what they were talking about, so these are not their committee meetings, I should say. These are going to be bigger meetings where all of our ALC is meeting together. And the reason that they do that is they're actually having conversations and making decisions on behalf of Ballantyne. We don't like to make big decisions without consulting our agent body. We want to make sure that whatever we're doing moving forward is something that is representative of how you guys would like to move forward. So your ALC is kind of that counsel for you. They are here to speak on your behalf and make sure that we're moving in a positive direction. So if you ever miss some of those bigger meetings where they are having important conversations, I know for a fact it has not been anything as of late, but when we reduced our cap value, that was a conversation that we had as leadership, and then we brought it to ALC to vote on. So know that those are as big as those conversations can be sometimes. So if you're wondering what conversations you may have missed, if you weren't able to sit in and observe that meeting, their meeting minutes are posted to a Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to them and find out what was discussed during the meeting. We also have a prayer request form. That is more of a talking point than anything at this point in time. You're welcome, of course, to fill out the form if you'd like. But really, this is just to reiterate that you guys are our family. We take that very seriously from the moment you walk in the door. So if there's ever anything going on in your lives, please just let us know. We want to be here to support you, whether that is just giving you a hug in the hallway when we see you, talking to you one on one, if that's literally sending you cards in the mail, trying to do anything and everything we can to support you, we will gladly do it. So whether it's something going on for you personally or something going on in the life of a loved one, please let us know because we want to be there to help you through that. Nobody should ever have to go through stuff like that alone. So keep us in mind when things do have to kind of when things do kind of start to spiral or happen in your world. Please keep us privy. We want to be here for you. Underneath that is KW Perks. KW Perks for those of us who are interested at all in insurance. I know obviously being independent contractor, you are not getting it through your employer. That may be new to some of us. If that is true, and you are looking for that and trying to figure that out for the first time, KW Perks is a way for you guys to navigate the insurance marketplace, find a plan that works well for you. And Keller Williams, initially they had partnered with Capstone Financial. I want to say they might be with Kaplan now. But either way, you guys are able to search through Marketplace at a discount and save some money. So if that is something you are interested in or need to explore here in the near future, KW Perks is a great starting point for you. Even if you have an insurance plan right now, if you're just curious, is there something that I can do that's better for me? Check out KW Perks, just plug in a little bit of your info and start shopping around, see what's out there. Scheduling a conference room, we already spoke about earlier. This is the easiest way to go about doing that. We do have KWB firm exclusive listings underneath that. So occasionally what you'll notice is that agents in our office will take on a listing that they only want to partner with another KW Valentine agent on. We have actually some teams that specifically only take firm exclusive listings when they're doing listings, in which case that means that they're not going to show up on MLS. So if you're looking for something for your buyer and their criteria, nothing's coming up in MLS. We obviously want you guys to have a full scope of what is available. And if those properties are not showing up, this firm exclusive listings is a live Google sheet. So it'll allow you to see any of those firm exclusive listings available through our market center. And that way, if there's something that is a better fit for your clients that's out there through firm exclusive, get in touch with that listing agent, find out more, see if you can schedule a showing. That's going to be a really great tool for you. Basically, as soon as that paperwork is submitted to Sabra, letting her know that there is a firm exclusive listing coming soon, she's able to plug in that information into our spreadsheet here for you guys so that you have all of the information you need to contact the agent and get more information on the property. We also have our strategic vendor partners as a drop down menu item here. This one I am going to click on for you guys because this is actually a live Google Sheet as well. So if you forgot to join that Facebook page where our vendor partners are, or maybe you're just not a big Facebook user, we see that and that's okay. We don't want you to feel like that means you're out of touch. In that case, we do have a live Google Sheet here, and this is breaking down every single person in our vendor partner program. So you're going to see here they are organized by their industry just to make it really easy for you to kind of get all the information of what's available to you and who is available. You will see that we also have the company that is a part of our vendor program, our specific representative that we have worked with before, their contact information. It will tell you on the right hand side here also what their services are. If they have a website, you can see the website is included as well. So hopefully this gives you all the information you need to get connected with that vendor in regards to helping service your clients. Especially again, for those of us who don't have a good vendor list of people we know and trust already, this is a really, really great way for you guys to get a lot of that information. And some of us maybe, maybe this is the first time I've had to have conversations about deck and fencing. I don't know who I want to call about that. Well, we can call Brendan because he's right here on our list. So it just makes it a little bit easier, hopefully, for you guys to get in touch with some great people. The other thing I mentioned as well, with this being a live sheet, any changes that are ever implemented, you see in real time. So you know if new vendors have been added. And with reference to new vendors, what I will tell you guys is you're going to see here, with a couple exceptions, it's pretty seldom, but a couple exceptions. Most of the time when you're seeing like HVAC, for example, you'll see we just have our wonderful Taylor with New Blue under HVAC. That doesn't mean we hate HVAC technicians. It actually just means we only have one gentleman currently offering HVAC technician services in our vendor program. So if you guys know an HVAC technician and you're like, I love them, I use them for my own personal home, I recommend them for all of my clients, they're just a wonderful team. Let us know if you guys have made connections with vendors that you know and love, because we are constantly looking to build up this vendor program and make it the best possible place for you guys to look. So if you know somebody and love them, let us know. Connect them via email with Angela Bueno. That's all you have to do. Say, hey, Angela, this is somebody that I love. They're a great HVAC tech. I'd love to see them get involved with the vendor program. Would you be able to have more conversation? And then she will jump right in, give them all the information they need, do the heavy lifting. And then if that individual thinks that it's a great fit for them and their business, they can go ahead and come aboard as a vendor. That way you guys don't have to have any of the boring conversation either. And to connect them with Angela, I know her contact information is not here. She has business cards at the front desk. All you have to do is grab one, and then you'll be able to make those connections, and we can help out your vendor partners as well. Because it really is a win-win, I would say, because as soon as they join, they get access to 550 agents, which isn't a bad gig. So let us know if there's ever anyone in your world that stands out and has done an excellent job. We want to get to know those people too, so that other agents can have great connections as well. So I'm going to take us out of there, take us right back to our More tab. We are now looking Outfront Magazine, just as an FYI, very similar to the Hot Topics. It's actually designed specifically to give you a rough guide of how to do your social media, in the sense of if you don't know what to post, they give you a monthly publishment of a single idea for a post every single day. So if you don't know what to post, it's a rainy Thursday, what do I do? They can go ahead and you can refer back to Outfront Magazine and see what their suggestion was, and then kind of replicate off of that so that you have some presence that continues on even when the creativity is not at its strongest, and that's okay. And then at the very, very bottom, we've got discount codes for real estate education. We click on that here today. Sorry, it's going a little slow for me. But if we click on that, what you're going to see is it's going to disclose both of our partnerships, CE Shop and Superior. We've looked already at the CE Shop. You'll know we already talked about how that's a fluctuating discount. Superior, however, is a long-standing 30% off. So for in-person training or for live through Zoom trainings, for any real estate education, CE, pre-licensing, all of the above, you guys can access that through Superior for 30% off. Again, this is something you're welcome to share with others. It doesn't have to be something you're exclusively using for yourself. But the only caveat with Superior, and why I show you guys this particular screen, is you're going to see there's 3 different codes for Superior. It's 3 different websites depending on the course you're looking for. So just make sure you click on access code for the appropriate class. This will be pre, this will be post, and this will be continuing education. So just pay attention to that. So if you're trying to send the link to someone else, you also know which link to send them to. And then if you want a really, really easy way to join our Facebook group, if you haven't already, just click that little Facebook icon in the top right corner. That is the easiest way for you guys to get right to that page, since we did see that link very, very long ago now. And then the last thing I point out is I need tech help, which almost all of us, I believe, have seen this button or gone over this button with me before. But I need tech help. If you guys want to connect with our tech coordinators, Jules and Leah offer wonderful services where they can actually grow with your business. They can teach you everything to do in the very beginning, from basics to advanced, and that can all be done for free. They will teach you how to do it for free so that you guys can implement on your end. But if you get to a point and you're like, hey, social media is doing wonderful things for my business, but I don't have time for it anymore, because it does take time, Jules and Leah can also be a leverage tool for you, and they offer concierge marketing services. So you can pay them to take care of certain things in your tech world so that you don't have to do them anymore. So keep them in mind. They are a fantastic resource. But you guys can always also book 30 minutes of time just to meet with them, get to know them, ask them questions about your technology, or say, hey, can you show me how to do XYZ? Maybe you are ready to have conversations about some of those leverage opportunities. Whatever that may look like for you in your business, book a 30-minute appointment for free with Jules and Leah by clicking on the availability on their calendar. You can see any time slots that they have that day. Schedule your slot, fill out your info, tell them I want to meet in person, or no, I think I need to meet you through Zoom because I'm traveling that day. And then tell them what you want to meet about. So no time is wasted. As soon as you guys get together, you guys are able to hit the ground running and have those conversations. But that is a great resource for you as well. Very easy. And that's the best way to get in touch with Jules and Leah for some one-on-one support with your tech. So that in short, I'll say, in short, covers everything that we were going to look at today on kwbresources.com. There's typically one last piece that I will share with you guys, and it's so brief, but out of respect for your time, if anybody does need to go, I don't want to hold you up. Otherwise, I will only take like 2 more minutes of your time. So that goes to everybody online too. If you guys have to run off to something, don't feel obligated to stay on. I will gladly show you one last thing for 2 minutes here if you can stay with me. But before we do look at that next thing, because it is technically a separate website, are there any questions that anyone did not get to ask about this particular website yet? Because I think we're in a good spot. I just want to make sure I did the right thing and asked everybody. The other really cool thing about this is, as you guys know now, I will post a recording of today's exact training to our YouTube channel. So if you guys do need to refer back to this video at any point in time, or if you were like, oh my God, Liz, you talk so fast, but I didn't want to tell you to your face, you can slow me down on YouTube. That's kind of cool trick too. But the last thing, because it looks like everyone's able to stick around, the last thing I'm going to share with you is actually my KW .kw.com. So mykw.kw.com. And then when you get to this screen, it's going to look a lot like you're logging into KW Command when you first see that login screen. And the good news is that your login credentials to get into this website are the same as what you use to Command. So whatever we set together during our appointment is exactly how you would log in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with my own. But once you have logged in, what I'm actually showing you guys is how you guys can create an email blast that goes to every single agent in the office so that minimal effort, maximum result. I want you guys to do things efficiently. So if you guys ever need to mass communicate, this is going to be one of the easiest ways to go about doing that and knowing that it guarantee gets to the other agent on the end. Facebook is really cool. It's a great tool, but with the algorithm, sometimes your post doesn't get as many views as somebody else's. An email blast is pretty hard to ignore because it drops right in my inbox. So when we're looking at mykw.com, now that we're logged in, what I do is I scroll down to this bottom section here where it says quick links. Just as a side note, White Pages, for those of you who don't know, that's not what we're looking at today, but White Pages is an internal search engine for KW. So if you guys need to find another KW agent or maybe find their contact information, you have their name, it's literally like it's literally a Yellow Pages, but for KW. So you guys can search their names. I will tell you though, you need to have exact spelling on their names. If you were going to search their names, I've learned that the hard way. Nothing comes up if you search it wrong. Then you guys can also actually kind of do like a interesting backward search where you can say, I just want to know agents out in Kernersville. So you could search Kernersville Market Center and then you can get all of their agents to come up. So it's a pretty cool tool if you, again, are specifically looking for a Keller Williams agent. But what we're going to look at is the MyKW MC350 intranet at the bottom left of your quick links here. We're going to click on that and it's going to take us to a quick little library that you're going to see, again, kind of like Hot Topics. Here's all the previous posts. This is not everything. This is more of our more recent posts, but you'll see we've got a variety. Some of them are mine about upcoming trainings and events. Some of them are about open houses, market share reports. So there's tons of great information that's shared through here regularly. If you guys are ready to make your own post, all you do is hit add a post. You guys will not have the Market Center post option. That is a me option only, sorry. But you guys will have the associate post option and you will click on that. And then it's going to allow you to designate a channel. I will say that agent announcement is going to be your most general channel. That's just, nothing else applies. So that's what I'm going to do. If you guys have an open house, obviously you can do it through the open house channel if you want. It does not change the visibility at all for anybody reviewing your information unless they went into that main page and were filtering by that specific channel. So you guys are welcome to categorize it however you see fit, but agent announcement is very general. So we're going to go in there. Post title right here, you have 100 characters where you guys can create a post title. This will be the subject line of your email when it comes through to someone's email. Underneath that, you see you can add a website. So if you want to link it back to a particular site, you can include a URL as well. If you guys need to upload any visuals, you can upload up to 12 JPEG or 12 PDF files here. And then you can create a quick post blurb. It's 190 characters, which is very tight, I will say. But 190 characters, this is the body of your email. So what I will tell you is I'm constantly putting stuff up here about the trainings. That's never enough space, and I hate it. So what I always do is I end up using this add full message button, which allows me to type freely as much additional information as I want. So if 190 characters is truly not enough, which it never is, you guys can add more information here. My one recommendation to you is that this information in this box is not immediately visible to me if I was receiving your email. I would see your post blurb as like this the body of the email, and then there will be a really cool button right below there that says view full post, and then that, if I click on it, will take me to the rest of your information here. The only little like tip that I've used for myself and that I recommend for you guys is if you need to take advantage of this feature at the bottom, what I always do is in that post blurb, I give myself like just enough characters to put like see full post is the last like sentence. And that way people know, okay, I do want to learn more. There's more information. I'll click that button. If you don't do that, people might not recognize that there is more information available. So just something to keep in your back pocket as something you may want to try. But hopefully, between your subject line of the email and your post title, your post blurb, the website you're including, and the images, and then this additional information, you've covered all the things. And then once you're very happy with your post and ready to send it to everyone, all you have to do is hit publish, and then it will send to everybody's inboxes individually, all 550 agents. The leadership team also receives a copy of your email as well. So, what I will say as a just general rule of thumb, you guys actually will not receive a copy of your own email. So it might not seem like it worked right away. It'll tell you that it's sending out, but there's always the question of like, did it work? In the event that you're not sure if it worked, especially on those first few posts, just email me and say, hey, did you see an email come through from me through the internet? And I'll double check and let you know if it worked or not. But that way it's super easy for, again, you guys to mass communicate with very minimal effort, because the biggest thing is I know you guys do tons of things and wear tons of hats. I don't want to make your life any harder than it has to be. So the easiest that we can make this for you, the best route for us. So once you've published your post, you will actually, if I just take us back to the start page, it'll sit here up top in this little library after trickling into everyone's inbox. Eventually, as more posts get added, it does drop out of this little library. But if somebody uses that magnifying glass search bar feature and searches keywords from your post, it should come right back up. So it will still exist in here. It's just hidden for the time being unless they're searching specifically for it. And then you can always bump your post back up if you need to too. So just something I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of. Again, mass communication, where that's an important thing in this industry. We see people all the time talking about open houses, talking about firm exclusive listings. I see people when, your buyers or your sellers are ready to unload, like, hey, I'm not taking my washer dryer. It's free. Just get it out of here. People post about that. There's really no limit to what you guys can share in there. If you guys are holding a team event, even, you guys can share it through here if you'd like to and invite other agents. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. If you ever want to run your topic or whatever by me, just to make sure it's appropriate, I'm happy to give you that confirmation, but it's pretty open ended. So, any questions on how we went about that though? I was gonna say it's pretty straightforward, which is good. If you guys forget how to do this moving forward, I do have a really easy 5-minute recording of me showing you this again. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. I can email it over to anybody should you need it. But that's everything, guys. That we did all the things, and you guys hung in with me for a little bit extra, so I appreciate that. If you have questions moving forward, that is very, very natural. My best recommendation is just kind of show yourself and walk back through what we did over time, gradually when you're home, and just see if you can remember where we went to find some of that information. If you're realizing you forgot, just shoot me an email, and I'll help walk you back through it or show you where to go. But that's everything. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope this was at least a little helpful. And yay, good. Okay, good. Then I did my job. Okay, awesome. Well, everyone have a great rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you guys soon. You're welcome.